everyone, Wizarding Journey here, and today we're going to talk about my time vending at Anime Riverside 2025. Yay! I've been doing Anime Riverside now every year for about 3 years now. Although the first year that I did Anime Riverside, my mom and my brother took over my booth, and my friend helped me as well because I was in Japan. But the last 2 years, I have been at Anime Riverside myself. So it's their fourth year this year that they were hosting Anime Riverside. It was May 31st to June 1st from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., I think. I think that's the hours. I am not entirely sure, honestly. But to get into the whole application process for Anime Riverside, it's kind of a bit hectic and a lot outdated. I do wish they would update our application, but I've been dealing with this for years, so have many other artists. It's okay, but I do wish that they did change their application process. So when the apps went live, I was actually in Japan at Universal Studios. I messaged my brother and was like, hey, I can't even fill out the form. I can't submit it if he could do it for me. So it took him, I think, about 10 minutes after the apps opened to be able to submit it. That's usually like a bad thing. I honestly did not think I would get in based on that fact, but I emailed them once I saw a lot of my fellow friends and people get accepted, especially people that applied after me, that I knew applied after me. And so I emailed them and they got back to me and I got a spot, which, yeah, hey. the hard part is over. But one of my friends didn't get in. Well, two of my friends didn't get in, but I already promised my other friend that I was going to share the table with them. So, I didn't get a corner, which I was kind of hoping for, since I wanted to split the table, but we managed to share it. I had practice at ALA with another friend of mine. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get on to day 0 when I started setting up. I got there around 1-ish. I did want to get there around 12 because I still had to go pick up my brother, but I was there at 1. Parking was around 9 USD for I think 4 hours. I'm not entirely sure, because one of the meters wasn't working, so I went to the other one. But there was also a QR code thing that you could scan, but yeah. Let's just say it was 9 USD. I think it might have been less, but let's just go with 9. But yeah, I got there around 1, started setting up. My booth partner, Tama Shop, wasn't there yet. So I just set it up all by myself. As you guys can see, I just used my entire tablecloth for the space. And then when she got there, she could put her tablecloth on top of mine. We did bump our table back 1 foot and then put cubes in front of it so that we could kind of make like an L shape to each of our booths so that we could fit everything that we had on there. It took me about 2 hours to get like the main setup, and then I did forget my drapes for the booth that like close off my booth for the day. I did not put out like stickers or my tote bags, sticker sheets, prints, and stuff like that. So I did have to do that day 1. I was also setting up myself day 0, so that's also why it kind of took a bit longer. But yeah, that was basically it for day 0. Again, I had to go pick up my brother. And yeah, so day 1, I parked in a public parking lot that last year I parked at, and it was like $5 last year. This year it was $15. So yeah, interesting. But the event started around 9, got everything set up, brought the stamp rally stuff around to like the people that I needed to and stuff like that. So that was all good. In total, I hosted 4 stamp rallies for this con. I did a Bungo Stray Dogs, a Pokemon Miku one, a Love and Deep Space one, and then a free one. And then I was in 2 other rallies, one of them being a Repo one and the other one being a Gojo one. Free one was obviously free. It was just like merch that we didn't want anymore that we put in a bundle together. The Bungo and Pokemon Miku one was like $1 tip or purchase each. The Gojo one, everyone had a $5 purchase minimum. The Repo one was free. And then my Love and Deep Space one, I believe we did a $5 minimum purchase per artist because we had a big fan as a grand prize. I'll go over later how much I spent in total for the stamp rallies and how much just in general I spent for this con and being at this con. I did have new items for this event. So my mom loves crocheting, so I asked her to make crochet plushies of my sea bunny, of my octopus before, that I could have as shoulder pads. But this time I also asked her to do some Love and Deep Space ones. So I got Silas's little crow, Mephisto, and then Caleb's apple as shoulder pads. And I sold those. I had lots and lots of new stickers, especially like with my travel series and Love and Deep Space. And then I also had prints for my travel series, which Anime Riverside was kind of like the main big con that I was debuting them at. I had them at Niji Fest before, like a couple of weeks before, but this was like the first like bigger event that I had them at. Day one, obviously, in the morning, it was kind of like there weren't too many people there at first. I was like, oh damn, this is like not a lot of people. But then like around 1ish or so, there were lots of people. The aisles were congested. I would definitely say it seemed a lot more busier than last year, just from like attendance wise. But the sales were definitely down from the year prior. Now, I don't know if that is because of the state of the economy, people wanting to save money, or if my stuff didn't appeal to them, or if it was just the location that I was at. But yeah, sales were definitely down for me at least, and some of my fellow friends that I did talk to. Now, if we're talking about placement where I was this year, I am 1 row down, basically, facing the other direction. And then I was at a corner booth last year where it was kind of nice sharing with someone because their booth was facing one way, my booth was facing the other way. But since I didn't have a corner booth this year, I was in the inline, and then I had 4 feet of space and my friend had 4 feet of space. So that might have also been a reason why I didn't do as well, because like usually when you share a booth, your sales are down, at least when it like seems like you're in an inline rather than in a corner where it seems like you're one booth. I would definitely say the Love and Deep Space stamp rally did help a lot because a lot of people really wanted that fan because it was hella hot in Artist Alley at least. So yeah, I would definitely say the lads rally helped a lot because we were using the fans ourselves, and then people were like, oh my god, where can I buy that? And we were like, it's a stamp rally. So yeah. And then the Pokemon Miku rally actually also generated a lot of sales. A lot of people were interested in that. The con this day ended at 7. And yeah, I went to Korean BBQ with some friends afterwards. But yeah, there's not much to say for me. For day 1, I was mostly stuck behind my booth, talking with friends, and yeah. So day 2, the con started at 9 again. I parked behind the convention center so that I can wheel in my stuff in and out easy. There was like a kind of mishap with parking where I was driving around to park there and they said it was closed, but I obviously could see that there were parking spots still open. So I looped around back one time and then they opened up parking spaces again and I got a spot there. So I was happy. It was $15, same like first day. So yeah, it is what it is. You can't really get around parking unless you get there super early and park at the street parking. Day 2, I would say, was kind of similar to day 1. Definitely sales were down from Saturday. Obviously, Saturday usually does better than Sunday, so that was still kind of like the same, but like the amount of people that were there and kind of foot traffic and how many people were kind of more like window shopping than anything was basically the same as day 1. I got to walk around a bit this day, take some video. My brother took some video for me. So here's a little bit of footage of like the vendor hall, artist alley, some spots around it. It was kind of interesting this year that they changed the location of the entrance/exit. So they moved it more over to the hotel, whereas last year it was right in front of the convention center. That was the main entrance and exit. Whereas this year you had to go over to the hotel, enter in that way, or even behind the hotel. I think it was only like vendors and artists that were able to go through the hotel one, at least early in the morning. And then you would feed into this big grassy area to then get into the con. So it was a bit interesting to see a different entrance this year, which definitely I think messed with where people wanted to be this year in Artist Alley, at least in the vendor side of things, because the entrance is different this year. But yeah, most of my sales this weekend were like stickers and photo cards, at least from what I saw based on card sales. Because it gives me a breakdown. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. It is a more family-friendly con, so I did kind of anticipate the lower-priced items to be selling more than the higher-priced items. So yeah, just keep your expectations like a little bit lower than like a normal con for Anime Riverside, Anime Pasadena, because it is mostly families. Although the sales are better, I would say, at Anime Pasadena, at least in my experience before. But yeah, most of my sales this weekend were with cards, so just keep that in mind. If you don't have a card reader yet and you want to do this card to get a card reader, or have them pay with PayPal or Venmo, something like that. But yeah, overall, this con, I was probably down 600 from last year, which does seem like a lot that I'm down, but I would still consider this a good con for me. Even though I'm down that much, I still did good in my eyes. Like, yes, I would have preferred to make that $600 extra compared to this year, but it was still a good con for me. I had fun with friends, so I would do it again. And yeah, so the con ended at 7 again this day, I believe. Although I think they could push it down to like 5. Because honestly, the last 2 hours were so dead. There were almost no sales. I like packed up early, a little bit early, like 30 minutes early, because we were going out to eat with friends. But yeah, I would definitely recommend to the con to end day 2 later. Or earlier, sorry. So, what were my expenses for this con? So, I had a table 3 of $330, which was split in half, so that was $165 since I was splitting with my friend. I did have to get an extra helper badge because my second badge went to my friend for the table, and then she had to get a second badge. So, for my extra helper badge, it was $25. For stamp rally costs, since I had a higher price tier item in one of my stamp rallies, that was $106 for all stamp rallies combined. Mind you, one of the stamp rallies, the Repo stamp rally, I didn't have to pay anything because my friend just wanted to do it for fun and didn't expect us to pay. For a gas, it was around $35 for me, but keep in mind I was kind of local-ish. It was around like a 30 to 40 minute drive for me from my house. For parking, it was around $39 to $40, I would say. Again, I'm not sure entirely how much the first day was in parking, but going off of $9, that would have been $39. Now for my Square fees, I think that was around $35 to $40. This does not include sales tax. That is just the fees that Square takes themselves for card payment. Now I also did take Venmo payment, so yeah, keep that in mind. This all does not include merch and food. Just keep in mind, I also had merch and food expenses. Food expenses were kind of high because I went to KBBQ with friends and I was paying for my brother. So also keep that in mind, but I'm not including that because food I have to get anyways, and merch I also have my online store. So yeah, that inventory like kind of spreads out through multiple events. So I'm like, I don't really calculate that out. The total what I spent was $405 just for being there, not merch, not food, no drinks. So yeah, keep that in mind. And this is with splitting a booth, by the way, not being there alone. So yeah. Overall, I would say I would do Anime Riverside again, whether it's being alone in an inline or splitting a corner booth, which I would honestly prefer. I would definitely say I would want to stay in Artist Alley because vendors are in a separate area and it kind of like divides the whole vibe. So I would definitely, for Anime Riverside at least, stay in the Artist Alley. I know they don't really have that many spots, so I would definitely say if you can't get a Artist Alley spot, go to vendor side, closer to the Artist Alley side. But yeah, Anime Pasadena, like vendors and artists are like right next to each other, no division, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, for Anime Riverside at least, I would say stay in the artist side if you can. And yeah, I'm hoping next year that I can get a corner table and split with someone, like one of my friends that can't get in. But yeah, other than that, Anime Riverside was a success for me. I debuted some very cool items that I've been looking forward to debuting and been wanting to do for a while. So very happy about that and the success for it. And yeah, with that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you guys with the next Artist Alley video or Japan travel tips video or recommendation video. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.